Hello, my good students. Welcome back to our War on the Sea Let's Play series as the US Naval Forces. Carrying straight off from taking Lai, which I thought would be the biggest undertaking. I thought we'd need to send so many forces at that. As ever, though, the biggest challenge did appear to be actually getting to a position where we could land on that base, because it was surrounded, of course, by Cape Hoskins and Cape Gloucester, and it did, of course, have its own airfield on there. So there's a lot of planes to come at us, but we did successfully deal with them. Of course, they'll have cycled around now and they would have restocked their supplies there in the surrounding bases. So, having said that, despite having said that, I think the goal for today is to invade one of the nearer bases. I think it's Cape Hoskins off the top of my head, which is the closest base to that. We're going to be looking at invading that today, and that's going to be quite the undertaking as well. Once again, I'm expecting there to be quite a lot of troops, and we know for sure there's a lot of aircraft about. Going there will actually, I imagine, incur the ire of the level 5 airfield at Rabaul, which is going to be quite the task indeed. We're going to have to make sure the Wasp is in range for that, and make sure, of course, we're bringing the Lightnings from surrounding bases as well. So just as well, we do have the airfield at Lai to deal with that. So having said that, let's go to the strategic map and double check what we can do today. Alrighty, so first things first, we can see a shit ton of stuff on the map. So not the biggest threats, other than the destroyers. Once again, we have 1, 2, 3 destroyers, possibly 4. This might just be a Straym and a Kazi. We can have a look at that for sure. Let's go to Cookton first though and get some bow fighters with rockets out to deal with this particular submarine over here. And we can go and get some bow fighters over here with some rockets once again to have a look at this one. Once again, I do think that is going to be just a Minakaze. We do, of course, see the supply convoy, which we hit in the previous episode, right at the end of it, retreating back over to Rabaul out here. That shouldn't have a lot over there now. Pretty much a dead invasion task force. It does have a cowl there, but by itself that can't do a hell of a lot. Quite fortunately for us. Gonna get some Lightnings over here. I would probably get some Corsairs, but Lightnings would just be that much quicker to get over here before we lose sight on this submarine. Having said that, we can apparently see a carrier, but trust me, this is just fog of war misinformation. It's not in any direct line of sight of ours. It does say possible 2 ships, so I imagine that is either a small patrol or just some cargo ships. Once again, we do see a lot of cargo ships, having said that, so we are going to try and hit some. We're going to take some Lightnings with 2 2,000-pound bombs over to this group. 4 Lightnings can hit that, and then the extra 4 can hit this group over here as well. I'm not sure if we showcase exactly what we get on Lai, but we do get the usual Lightnings, Air Cobras, Havocs and Mitchells, which is rather hefty indeed. As a level 2 airfield, we should be getting a fair number of each of those as well, which is very helpful for when we go for Cape Gloucester, which is a level 4 airfield, which is disgusting. Absolutely going to be a massive invasion to take that on. Quite the undertaking there. And Caviong over here is actually, just looking at that, it's going to be quite the task as well. Although having said that, we are quite the experienced IJN player ourselves. We know that at least for when you play as the IJN, there's bugger all troops and supplies sat on these outlying bases. So we're hoping that's the case here as well. But of course, they've had all of this time in this campaign to reinforce those, so we never actually know for sure. So having said that, what's we going to do with our supplies? We're going to bring them. We have brought our fuel over to, I believe, Milne Bay over here. Let's see if we can get that. So we've got a little bit of fuel that might actually, yeah, we got it sat on Boona. That's just so it's at forward supply there. So it's a little bit further infield rather than sat back as a home port. So we're not necessarily going to upgrade Boona over here. Although it could be an opportunity if we do put some engineering on there. But that's just in case we decide to put any engineering or fuel rather on anywhere else. So that's just an option there. So we're going to bring, of course, our supplies all the way back down to the cairns over here, because the cairns actually now have a massive fuck ton of troops and supplies as well. So it doesn't really matter which base we do use, just that we make sure they're not sat idle there. So we're going to focus, we've got a task force over here as well. That's just going to Rabaul Island just to get them out in the field of a mixed bag of troops and supplies here. I think we're going to bring them all the way over to Milne Bay to begin with, so that they can get ahead of themselves, and good timing there. So let's go and try and get these submarines, and we'll advance forwards with our plans in the future. And yeah, that ship that we saw in the Solomon Sea next to Milne Bay was in fact just a single destroyer escort, not exactly identified just yet, between Momi and Wakatake, of course, once again. So not quite the Minakaze that we thought it was, but not to worry there. It is still a soon-to-be dead destroyer, sunk destroyer. All the way down to the bottom it shall go. Cannot match. I do wonder why they send out these single destroyer escorts, and so deep as well into what is so clearly our territory. Seen it multiple times in this series where off-screen have taken on single destroyers like this with our battleship groups, because they decide to penetrate so deep. And to be honest, we should be ashamed of ourselves for letting them do that, really, shouldn't we? We've got so many ships out now, so many scouts, that it is actually somewhat on the unacceptable side, if you ask me. Move these bow fighters out. No need to increase their altitude, just get them away from the small arms to begin with. Did only get a couple hits, but it does seem to have done quite a lot of damage so far, especially on the rear there. You can see the saturation, of course, the fires beginning to bellow out there. So we get some better hits though with these bow fighters. This is moving at quite the speed though. And just a couple minor hits there, not to worry. Let's form up, just getting some secondary explosions there. Let's reduce the speed of these bow fighters, just come in for a strafing run there. These guys have formed up, so they're going to do exactly the same. Turn around a bit more over to its bow, a little more dead on. I really do wonder why, like I said, they send just these single ships in like this. They might down one or two bow fighters at a time, but they can't take on any of our surface ships. Even if they came across our cargo ships, there's just, you know, we have so many cargo ships in one task force that a single destroyer isn't going to do too much. That's a good old amount of damage there, actually. Very good indeed. It is sinking. Once again, just you know, like turning a hand or treading on some ants there. Incidentally, we did take on two submarines over up to the north here and out towards here past New Georgia. Our bow fighters, we can have a look around with these. Don't appear to have found anything in particular. I think we did forget about those a little too early on. And the submarine may have fled us over there. So what we're going to do is go down to a low altitude, full speed, see if we can spot that. It is of course stormy over here, somewhat rainy, so we're going to spread out our bow fighters. Did I change? Yeah, I just need to go a little lower, I think, so they can see a bit better. But I'm having trouble spotting anything anyway. If we were anywhere close, we would be able to see them by now. Although submarines are still hard to detect for us visually as a player, you can still see them somewhat on the surface. Doesn't look like there's anything here though, would have picked it up by now. So let's come out of that, and that unfortunately is a submarine that has managed to live yet another day. So if we go to enemy losses, we did actually destroy a couple of Kamigawa Marus. We've sent the lightnings up north of Buka. So what do we get? We got a Type B and a Type C sub, and we just downed a Momi as well on 224 sinkages. That is absolutely disgusting. With 1.5 million tons of shipping sunk. Just going to double check where we stand with the Momis and Type Bs. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Momis about. What about Wakatakes? They have 3 Wakatakes about, not to worry there. Where are we on Type Bs then? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 remaining. It is the Type Cs that we'll have a loss of. Well, having said that, there are only 3 left. I didn't think we'd sunk quite that many Type Cs. So we're actually getting into the stage now where, especially if we're downing their subs quite a bit, we're not going to be seeing a lot more enemy major ships about. What will happen now is they do, like I say, still have a fair few heavy cruisers about. Still got all their Takaus, 3 Mogamis, all of their Myokos, I believe. Oh no, we did sink a Myoko in the previous episode, wasn't it? So they've still got 3 Myokos. Did destroy both foot attackers and Albers. We've destroyed pretty much all of their light cruisers as well. So it's going to be now fleet carriers, battleships, and heavy cruisers. So we're not going to have much variety in what the Japanese bring out, but it will be potent. This is the problem. So enjoyable for sure, but we need to keep our eyes peeled. We did see the Taiho, but we still need to see Zuikak, and they have all of the Soryus about, and Soryus Unryus about as well. Do have a Soryu. They do have the Kido Butai classic group there. But when that comes out and where, I don't know. Like I said, we did lose sight of the Yamato that was about here as well. We've got our Iowa task force waiting around ideally for that. Missouri says it's got quite a lot of damage there. I'm just going to double check what's going on here. I'm pretty sure it's a minor damage. Yeah, it is just one component there permanently flooded, but the integrity on a lot of these it's actually fairly high on these repaired components. I think we'll be okay for a surface engagement with that. Just to double check on that, I think we'll be absolutely fine. All good, no worries there. So let's carry on, see what we can do today. Okay, so that Takao group that we did hit in the previous episode, rather than retreating, it's decided to change its mind, and it does look like it's coming back to Guadalcanal. So we have launched some lightnings from New Georgia to have a look at that. We are going to try hitting the Takao here. Everything else not really the biggest problem. The Shiratsu, not a problem. What have we got here? A Fubuki, not really a problem, to be honest. And the light cruiser, yeah, be okay. And I'm sure, what have we spotted? Okay, we're all on fire at will, so we're all going for that scout. Let's ignore that. Go down straight towards the cow here, and we can all go as one. Brilliant stuff. We have brought 2,000 pound bombs on our lightnings. And what we're going to do is just break an attack from here. I've not targeted it, so we're not attacking that. That's brilliant. There we go. Oh dear, big brain time there. Oh, lost a lightning. That's unfortunate. Lots of dud bomb, excellent stuff. But a lot of successful bomb hits there. Very central, so we'll be hitting very important components. Let's not do that. Let's focus them on a particular plane there, because they're just going to go down to the ocean otherwise, once again. Let's see how this goes. What sort of report do we have on that? Critical to critical. You know what? It would be quite the waste just to sink that, wouldn't it? Let's come back down, increase our speed so that we don't stall here, because that'll be the next thing. And what we can do is actually strafe that supply ship here. So just going to set a nav point over here to get onto its nose. And by the time we get there, the Takao here, yep, will have sunk. Excellent stuff. So that's the majority of the AA dealt with there. So what we're going to do is just fast forward, get around to that, and slow down our speed once we get around to there. Have spotted the Scout again. That's not a bother whatsoever. And now I can tell our light needs to strafe this down. Only going to focus the supply ship here, not going to bother with the rest of the task force. I will be absolutely certain that they will start to retreat once we take this down, because it has no purpose sending all these remaining ships to Guadalcanal. And that will just be the rules, taking down the 1 and 2 ships. Instantly a magazine explosion there. And of course over half of the task force will have been dealt with now. So what we can do is just leave that to burn down. If we increase our speed, so we just get out of there quickly, and increase the altitude a tad, help with that small arms a bit. Have lost another lightning, but it's too late now. We have downed that Adatama Maru, so we are just going to retreat out. And that is a very lovely 3 command points actually. It's quite lucrative just for a couple ships there. So let's return home. We are just about to join up our North Cow with the rest of our ships here. I might decide to add another destroyer here, just because in my mind the optimum number of destroyers per task force is 4. It lets you cover both your bow and rear in any sort of formation when you have 4 destroyers against submarines and such. When the time comes for that, 3 just isn't quite enough, if you ask me. So let's carry on, see what we can do. Look at the audacity of this. We spotted this particular group of ships. We didn't go as a tactical. Don't know exactly what's here. We spotted them at the Shortland Islands, just milling about, going backwards and forwards. Decided to put a bit of a roadblock towards Guadalcanal in front of them. It is night time, so we did lose proper sight on them. They've just decided to go straight past us. Look at that. Wish I could bloody do that. So we are about 40 kilometres away from them. We're going to try and catch up. At this point, we might not catch up in time for them to intercept them to get into Guadalcanal. That's absolutely fine. The point here is that we do catch up to them and do sink them at some point. So let's carry on trying to do that. You can see they are rather quick, so quite likely not a battleship or carrier in there. Expecting quite similar to what we've seen before. Might even just be destroyers. Let's, before we do that, take on some supplies over here. Let's take actual just supplies on this particular group over here, like so. All of the supplies we can eat, and straight up once again to Milne Bay to regroup there. We're going to bring, of course, these ships in to pick up some troops as well. Just keep an eye on this. Go straight over to Guadalcanal ourselves. Yeah, we're not going to be able to catch up with this group. That's not a problem. They will drop their stuff onto Guadalcanal. Once again, it is night time, so we can't launch any planes out to intercept them. Getting very, very close though. Yep, there they go. On to Guadalcanal. It is still bombarded to the ground. Let's see if they upgrade that. Doesn't look like they have. And where are they going here? Should we go north to try and intercept them? Yep, there we go. We're going to be right on top, and there we go. So let's sort out our formation, because I don't really like the idea of line ahead at the moment. Been liking the 10-go formation actually. Let's see how we'd sit at the moment with that. That's looking very, very nice indeed. Let's make our North Cow number 1 here, like that. We get our destroyers at 6, 9 and 8 if we can. Where is Benson's? Get that at 6 over here, I think, and that should really be okay. What's number 2, 3? Yeah, I think we'll be okay. It doesn't make a lot of difference after we've sorted out our destroyers. Once again, wishing we could launch at least a scout plane here. We're going to be right on top of this. This is going to be quite the bloody night battle, but everything so far, apart from the Australia, is pretty pristine. I think we're a little low on ammunition here. Only got 5 torpedoes on the Benson. Should have a few more than that, but that's okay. Let's begin. What we're going to do then is take off fire at will for everyone, and of course get everyone's radars on. And I think that's pretty much it to begin with. Where the bloody hell are they? Here we go. Oh, they're in line ahead. Look at that. So that must be then. Okay, there's a lot of destroyers, a light cruiser, one of these once again. Okay. And an Akizuki. Lovely stuff. Oh. Treated today. Where's the light cruiser? Let's take this. Let's try and make an educated guess as to what this might be. But we do... Yeah, we've got 2 Nagaras and 1 Kuma left. So let's just call that a Nagara at the moment. Go for that. Fire out narrow AP shells. What we're going to do is fire a full spread of star shells with our secondaries to begin with on the North Cow, so that we don't take up the main battery guns of our destroyers. Going to focus on the Akizuki because that has, of course, a lot of guns. Let's make sure we identify all of these ships because that will really help in a night fight here. I'll just go through these very quickly. Let's call this a Yugamo for now. This one we can call a Wakatake. Where are we? DE or Wakatake. Do still have a few of these left. Over here we have a Akatsuki, which is very nice. You know what ship we're going to get on the Akatsuki, don't you? We're absolutely going to get our Atlanta class to fight the Akatsuki, especially since it is just outside Guadalcanal. So you know, when people say this game isn't historically accurate, means we'll lose the Atlanta as well. Let's get Australia out over here. That can fire. I think that will fire on a real ship. That can fire over here as well. Let's fire out there. Philadelphia can fire on this particular ship over here. We'll identify that as a... We'll set out some Molmy for the sake of variety here, but if our solution doesn't reflect that, we can change our identification later. And now I'll actually get out to giving some real orders here. So let's get the Baltimore as well onto Nagara. Let's not waste its larger caliber guns here, and that will actually fire out some genuine secondaries here. The Cummings over here can fire out on the Yugamo. Benson can fire on the Yugamo as well. I'm going to start focusing these more modern destroyers over here because they do have the greater firepower. Let's go over there and fire secondaries as well. Philadelphia's firing, Benson's firing, Birmingham. Yeah, I think that is it. Absolutely. We were going to focus this, weren't we? Excellent stuff. Let's bloody go. What we're going to do then is tell our ships to actually just turn a tad, like so. Probably not the best to turn into the island there. There's not a lot of choice, to be honest. I'm going to wait for these star shells to come in before we think about re-identifying people, and that will help our solution quite a bit. Where the bloody hell are they? So you know what, we get our already very nice hit onto the Nagara there, excellent stuff, and the solution on that is already 70, so I am going to say that is a Nagara. Going to get some star shells from the Baltimore out as well, and I think from Philadelphia as well to spread that out. Mulby looks like it is correctly identified there because the solution is very high already. What else are we looking at? Who was firing at Yugamo? That doesn't appear to be quite right because the solution is rather bad. Let's go for Didi, let's go for Sasha. Doesn't seem to be getting much better, seems to be getting worse there. Kagado is what it is then. That is going to 50, I think. Yeah, I think we'll leave that as Kagado for now. We're turning quite sharply here, aren't we? Very, very sharp. Let's turn back. Yeah, that Nagara is already nearly down. That is excellent news. Oh, look at that! Look at that! But then again, so is our Samson. Look! Oh my god! Oh my god! That is just torpedoes out. So that's, yeah, a lot of things already down. Very, very nasty indeed. They are focusing Samson then. Let's stop firing out with so many star shells here. Looks like Molmy's already nearly down, which is excellent stuff. Who was firing on that? It was Philadelphia, wasn't it? Let's fire out with our secondaries properly then. Australia's looking good as well on that Akizuki. Just needs to keep firing with its main guns there. Had a few night battles actually in this series, haven't we? I bloody love a night battle, but so far it's not going great. Molmy's down, so let's take the Philadelphia onto that Katsuki there. That would be absolutely brilliant. like so. Was anyone else firing on that Mommy? I don't believe so. So the Philadelphia's done very well for itself to solo that at night. Excellent stuff. Akatsuki's doing very well as well. Atlanta shall have that down very, very soon, I think. And again, the sheer volume of firepower on our light cruisers, nothing to be scoffed at there. The American light cruisers, honestly, just so much better than the Japanese ones. And Nagara's down, which means we can move to, I think we're going to go for the Akazuki here with our HE shells. We're going to fire off some star shells over there. Nagara's suffered a magazine explosion, but it's going down anyway. Not a problem there. Let's get the Birmingham over here on to the Kagero. It was already firing out there, not a problem. I want to fire with the Baltimore, which is what I'm thinking of here. Oh, they both start with B, don't they? That's what's confusing me there. So that's 2 ships down. Akatsuki's not looking great. Wakatake is actually looking fairly pristine there. Our, which was it, the Samson over here is going to go down. Absolutely going to go down. Look at that fire on there. Akatsuki's sinking. Torpedoes in the water. Let's break then. And ooh dear, ooh dearie dearie dear, ooh dearie dearie dear. Here's Akatsuki going to get its revenge on the. Do you want to slow down or do you want to? Let's increase speed and just turn straight into that. Going to break with Birmingham here, like so, and North Carolina needs to break as well and actually turn right into them. I think that would be pretty much it. Let's break with the Philadelphia and turn down here as well. Yeah, that's not great at all actually. Baltimore could take a hit as well. I can't actually see the streams. I can faintly see one just where my cursor is. I'm going to use the map over here. Really got to use the map here. Let's stop turning so hard with our North Cow here, because that will just turn into a torpedo. Yeah, there we go. That's brilliant stuff. Okay, so let's get the Atlanta over here. Samson's going down. Absolutely understandable there. Okay, so what we need to do is actually get our formation now into a decent line because we have broken up and everyone's following the Northampton. So, I'm going to get the Cummings to break off. Actually, everyone's going to go by themselves. I think we're going to carry on over here. Benson can go straight up here. Australia can thread the needle, I think, between these torpedoes here. We'll have to watch out for that in just a second. Philadelphia actually can just keep going straight as it is. If it turns just a tad in a second, maybe. Turn its rudder in a tad to watch out for those torpedoes. North Cal should probably turn in a little more. Don't want to take a torpedo hit already on this ship. Actually, really can't see where those are. Let's turn in like that. Slow down a tad. Slow down a little more. And I think that'll be okay. Yeah, that looks okay. Let's turn the Baltimore back round because that is going to face away from the enemy. We still want our guns firing on them. Do you have that Wakatake still over here? Who the hell is firing on that? Tell you what, let's get the Atlanta on that because that is extremely close to Wakatake there. And that should really deal with that okay. Philadelphia should turn in. And that can also fire on Wakatake. Wasn't firing actually on anything there. Akazuki sinking, excellent. Kagero can come over, fire on that with Australia. Actually get some more star shells also I think there because they are going to dissipate soon. And Benson, what were you firing at? You can keep going on Kagero. Cummings, you're on Kagero, excellent. There's been too much hassle this destroyer group, hasn't it? Lost to Cummings. Nearly took a few torpedo hits there. Very, very close actually. Are we actually fine with this? Why have we got a zero solution on this? Why do we have a zero solution on the Kagero here? That's strange. Our targeters don't appear to be on it. There we go, that might have something to do with it. That's very, very weird. I'll take it. So with this we can stop turning like that and actually turn up over here to the side of our north cow. We have down to the Akazuki, so let's get this onto the Kagado here. Some mismanagement for sure. Absolutely mismanagement on my part. But I think we're going to get away with it. Is that Wakatake now taking hits? Doesn't appear to, does it? How's the Kagado looking? Is taking hits. That will go down very soon. Actually, that is pretty much dead in the water. You know what, absolutely should have predicted torps a lot sooner, and you know what, we really should have seen a lot more. I think we did get away with quite a very low number of torpedoes fired at us. Looks like the guns are out of action here, and it is going down. Excellent. So I just need to fire on Wakatake over here. That's the wrong one. Let's go over here. Cummings, you can fire out on that as well. Thank you. Actually, just fire some star shells on that. You can go over here as well. There you go. Don't need loads and loads of fire out on that. Where is San Diego? That can come round. We're just wasting our shots over here. Let's, yeah, really mismanaging this. Why is our back gun not firing on that? Is it only just guessing an angle on that, I think? It is taking a lot of hits now, though. And that would be very, very nice indeed. Might go back to the New Hebrides with this group to restock and get another destroyer out to replace the Samson there. All in all, a decent attack. Probably shouldn't have lost a Samson. But if it did appear that they're focusing the single destroyer with their whole group, so somewhat unavoidable, at least with my skill level. But it is going down, and that's going to be brilliant. Let's go. So one command point, 13,000 tons of shipping sunk. We did lose, of course, a Samson, and taking some minor damage on some destroyers there. So we're going to go back to the New Hebrides, like we said there, and restock our ammo. And we're going to load up some troops over here. Where are we? Troopy troops on everything. So we're going to specialise our cargo task forces on troops and supplies, at least with two of them. We do have Task Force 42 from the New Hebrides there, which does have a mix of troops and supplies. We'll see how that balances out. Haven't actually done the maths on that to see how it all adds up just yet. We'll see how that looks when we land on Cape Gloucester. Whether that happens actually today or not will be a different thing, since we've had a couple of things already happen, but we can at least set that up. So let's carry on and see if we can get over there. Okay, so something very strange has happened. We've been sat in the same place with our New Mexico and our Wasp for a number of days now, and just out of nowhere the Japanese are like, no, I've had enough of this, really had enough of how dare they sit outside their base. We're going to poke them with our Cape Hoskins and Cape Gloucester aircraft. So we've got a lot of vowels. So once again, we are sat right next to our Wasp, so we did of course see these coming, and we have launched our flight of Wildcats to deal with these, so it's absolutely fine at the moment. We have of course as well launched some Lightnings to come over, because we are going to get a lot of planes suddenly out of nowhere try and deal with us. Let's make sure these are all targeting specific planes. That's absolutely fine. We'll get over here as well. The Fire at Will seems to have done a fairly decent job to begin with, actually. No, I don't want to credit the Fire at Will too much, but at least on that first group it said one plane per vow, so that's absolutely fine. We are facing our rear to them. Shall we turn round? I think that'd be a good idea. Absolutely think that would be a good idea, so that we can get some more flak and small arms onto them in case our Wildcats can't do the job on a one pass there. What we're going to do is actually slow down our speed, and that is just so that we get a little more time on target when we do approach the vowels. getting towards them in time isn't necessarily the problem, since they are coming straight at us. So we are of course going to meet them before they get over to our ships. The question is whether we actually get some shots off before that happens. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So that's one group done. That's most of another group done. Just waiting for the rest of the planes to come over. Excellent stuff. Should be a walkover, really. Does look like it so far. And there we go. Excellent stuff. Was there anyone else before we retreat? Was that everyone? That's 9 out of 9. Brilliant. Okay, cool. Fairly easy, actually. So, of course, we can see another group coming in here. Possibly Nels or Donrys over here. Definitely some Emilys behind them there. Like I said, we have launched some lightnings to come out for that. So let's ruddy bloody get into that. Okay, so it does appear the Emilys and Nels. Let's double check we're talking about the right planes here, actually. We do have a lot of Nels. Okay, interesting. So what happened on the strategic map was these planes just idling by, just watching a few miles away from our surface group here. But now they finally decide to come in. It appears they decide to come in force as well. So what we're going to do is smoke up. And what we're going to do with our planes, they are armed with torpedoes. I think we're going to try the tactic of lowering our speed and go down to their torpedoing altitude here to meet these planes. So that hopefully we don't faff around too much inside their tail gunning range. Do that with every group here. Try coming out over here with these. No need to go too far, but that does mean that if we miss these groups, that they will try and get it, or they will successfully get in a tag closer to our surface group here. I do of course have the lightnings. I am still expecting to see some Emilys about here, actually. That would be rather nasty indeed. Rather nasty. So we're going to keep the lightnings, I think, about. Just keep them circling round for now. And of course, maybe should bring them down to a torpedo altitude there, just in case we do miss with our Wildcats. I think we'll be okay though. Since Nels are so big and slow, I think our flak will be able to deal with them once they do get close. Of course, you never want to leave that a chance, do you? You never want to leave that a chance. Okay, so our first group is in fact in position here. So let's go from the bottom. Let's give number 4 a target there. If we go from the top, then everyone will focus the lead plane's target, which is the thinking here. Let's once again go with this group. We have, of course, given them orders. Let's attack. Attack and attack. See, that's a lot of smoke over our main force there. Look at that. Be surprised they know where to go at all there. There we go. Look at that. Excellent stuff. And that is the power of going for this particular attack approach here. Just because it is clearly working. We have actually gone ahead of ourselves with a couple of Wildcats there. Gone straight over for these Nels, which is absolutely brilliant. Love it when the when our planes take the initiative there correctly. Really helps. Doesn't look like we're going to get the one pass on this group just yet though, which is unfortunate. Can't complain too much. No idea what these guys are shooting. I'm going to try and tell them to stop firing there. Come on. Interesting. Should be on the back of this one, and that will go down. So let's carry on. Get out of there. And it looks like the Emilys have actually retreated there because they are so weird. They just sat out here, did nothing, and looks like they just run out of fuel. Interesting choice there. So yeah, let's carry on and see if we can bring our supplies up, I think. Okay, so the North Carolina Task Force has actually come back to the New Hebrides here. We're going to rearm. And we're going to replace the ship that got down. I forget, it was the Samson, wasn't it? Let's also get another destroyer. We get 2 destroyers out to max out that formation there. I was a bit worried earlier about how many destroyers we do have. Should go for something a little different. Could go for a Gridley. That's got some decent torpedo power there. That is a little on the expensive side though. Let's go for another Benham. And let's go for a Sims actually. I do like Sims, it's not a bad design. We should be getting Resupply today as well. So let's merge this group over here. Should be getting resupplied once the day ticks over. It should be day 88 very soon. So hopefully we get something decent. What exactly are we guessing? Guessing 105 points a week. If I hadn't spent those points there, probably could have got an Illinois house actually. Wouldn't know exactly where to put it though. Probably could have put it with this group. And North Carolina and Illinois would be very potent actually, but that's okay. We can wait around for that. How are we doing in the dockyard? We've got 18 days on that Sims there, on the Hughes. That's quite a long time. So what we're going to do is look at sinking these cargo ships, build up our points here. Because I did actually write a letter to the IJN and I said, look mate, of taking your bases, I know you've got supply ships, but could you just not use them? And they said, ha, wakirimashita. They're absolutely fine to not use their supply ships. They're just milling about, just poking around, just teasing us. But I think it's time we break that particular non-aggression pact. Very honourably there behind their backs. So what we're going to do is launch some lightnings out here. I imagine these are just destroyers, so we're going to go with some rockets over here. Might even launch some bow fighters before we run out of fuel, though, before we attack. Our subs are in range to hit something here, but I really want to save our torpedoes something bigger, to be honest. Got to wait 0.1 hours there. Let's keep our lightnings about over here. And there we go, we're ready to launch once again. Let's get some bow fighters with rockets as well. That'll do. That'll already bloody do. Okay, yep, excellent. I think we're both into position to attack this. So let's see what we got. Where are they? Where are you? There we go. Where have we gone? So we've got a destroyer escort again. Surprise, surprise. And we have a destroyer escort again. Maybe this was a tad overkill. I was expecting at least 3 ships, but that's okay. We get these bow fighters onto the number 2 then. Let's target that. Full speed, straight down, go to sort of rocketing altitude there, and come straight in again with this group, and come in there. With the lightnings, they'll just have to come over at full speed once again, target the number 1, that's number 2, and yeah, just hit that with their rockets. We could of course just strafe these down with our remaining bow fighters once they have used their rockets. That might have to be the case depending on how quickly our lightnings get over. The lightnings are quick of course, so that shouldn't be too difficult for them. Should probably get in just as we're hitting the number 2 here. Let's go in and we can tell these to attack from here. Actually, it doesn't make a lot of difference, we're on the right line. Give them some time to dive down to the correct altitude. That'll do. Alrighty bloody do. Come on guys. Come on guys, speed up. You got this. That's a posthumous to identify what these are, because like we said at the beginning of the video, that was just not good at all. I think we got 1 hit there. That wasn't great, was it? Could have done better there. Let's form up one big bow fighter group. Big and beautiful. And what we'll do is we'll turn around and strafe that. So reduce our speed there. Lightnings, you're probably in a decent position. Oh, that did enough to sink it. Interesting, interesting. Wasn't the biggest amount of hits, but it is only a very small destroyer there. We'll bring these bow fighters around them, and we can just strafe that down while the lightnings are coming in. Be efficient, imagine that. Oh, that poor ship. Yeah, but like I was saying at the beginning of the video, only got a handful of Wakatakis and Momis left. So, be interested to see exactly what these are. If they're both, the same class of ship, that might be the end of a specific type here. So it could be the Tare Warabi or Sta over here, or Yomogi. So it might, if these are Momis, that might not be the last of them. Probably a bit of overkill here, but make sure they go down. Oh dear, brutal. Absolutely brutal. Easy pickings though. There you go. There you go. Charlotte's got to go down. Critical to critical. We can just speed up here and that will go absolutely go straight down. So let's possibly identify that. No, enemy losses. Big old list right to the bottom there. And yeah, 2 Molmies. Excellent. So that should just leave 2 left there. Unfortunately, guys, I am going to leave the video there. Noticing how long it's gone on for now. Don't want it to go on like a mega episode like the previous video did. I know we said our aim for today was to take Cape Gloucester, but it's just so much happened in between, hasn't it? So I shall see you in the future, where we shall really be trying to land on Cape Gloucester unless something massive turns up. We have actually incidentally sent our submarines over here, which were patrolling around the Shortened Islands, to come out here so we don't get caught out again by any surprise battleship or carrier group. And so we are ready to hit that with something secretive over there. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I've enjoyed presenting to you once again today, and I look forward to hearing your feedback in the section below. So, I've been the Edified Gamer, and I hope all of your nights and days are auspicious. Goodbye.